thank you so much for granting us this opportunity. I know you obviously are a busy ministry, but you've taken time to meet this team. I also want to make mention that the team that we have gathered here is not a team of politicians or a team of unruly youths. It's a group of small business owners. Each one who is here is running a business. And the criteria that we used came from the same posts that we put out. We also want to appreciate the entire team that is here, Ma'am. Thank you so much. It is such a rare opportunity. Firstly, our concerns started from the rise in the rates that we are paying as small business owners. Generally, all of us here agree that it is quite very expensive to run a business as a business owner in this country. What is making it very expensive is the fact that we have so many things to pay for, and a lot of times, as a small business owner, we will not know what we're supposed to do or what we're supposed to pay for when. Maybe because some of us really don't take the interest to learn and say, I need Napster, I need, I need ZRA, I need this. Because trust me, for us that are privileged to have sat in the classroom, we might have that information, but there are people that are running very, very small businesses and they don't have an opportunity to learn about these things. And a lot of times that we have come to learn about these things is when they pounce on us. And at the time when they pounce on us, we have got two options. They either run away, close the business, or maybe go head on, especially with the council. Trust me, if you're a business owner here, we have even learned the techniques on how we address, how we interact with these kinds of people. So it is quite very, very involving on the part of compliance. So the recent one that we saw, obviously there were stakeholders that were engaged when certain rates were being increased. So our cry really was, we don't know which stakeholders were engaged when certain decisions were made. So our cry through your ministry, Honorable Minister, was for us to be more engaged. I know that I've taken time to go through what the ministry does, who is engaged and what is being done when. But we're offering ourselves here. We said, let this not just end at a point where we sit here and discuss and say, okay, we are going to talk about load shedding, we're going to talk about, then it ends there. So we were thinking, Honorable Minister, through your office, if you can grant us an opportunity again, because if we were to bring everyone who was interested to come to this place was going to be extremely packed and full, and it was not going to be a meeting that was going to be fruitful. But we are saying, away from this meeting, let us organize ourselves. I don't know what we will end up being. I don't know if we will end up being a union or something, but we would love to organize ourselves and engage the rest of the entrepreneurs, the rest of the small business owners, because me as Mwizukanji, my audience is people that do very, very small businesses. And the small businesses that they do, they have no idea about company registration. They have no idea about NAPSA. They have no idea about workers' compensation. So these are things that we meet as we grow in businesses. So we'd love to have an opportunity where we engage everyone. I don't know what place is going to accommodate us, but the whole idea is also to have other stakeholders on board. Let's have ZESCO represented. Let's have ZRA represented. Let's have NAPSA represented, and also the ministry represented. In that way, we'll have first-hand information. What are we supposed to do when we're addressed with certain issues? How do we handle this? If I want to start this business, what am I supposed to do? Because the current situation now is, I'll have the passion to start the business, and I'll ask around. The only thing, trust me, that people will tell me I need maybe is health, a certificate. Once I register the business, I need to pay for fire, I need to, just these small things. But the other things, we actually meet them as we grow in the business, and we meet them as they pounce on us. So, Honorable Minister, thank you so much for this opportunity, and the group leaders, the other group leaders, are going to bring out the challenges that we have discussed. Although they are not all the challenges, we are hoping that once you are called us that opportunity to have a symposium as small business owners, we'll be able to express ourselves even more. The fact that we're seeing, oh, this gentleman here is from ZESCO, why is there load shedding? Some of us really don't understand. And regardless of the efforts that have been put in place to say, okay, we are going through this as a country, but for a business person, while the country is going through certain issues, how am I going to survive as a small business owner? So I think with your permission, if you would grant us to organize such an event, obviously we would want to engage the stakeholders that were mentioned with you, Honorable Minister. Thank you so much.
Thank you. morning once again. Thank you. I also want to just say thank you, Minister, for according us this opportunity. We do not take it for granted. We really appreciate that you took your time off your busy schedule to actually attend to our concerns. Like my colleague has mentioned, we have listed down a few of the things that are affecting us as small business owners. Of course, we had a small meeting to just probably pick one or two things, but I think most of the things will come out in the bigger meeting that we are intending to have, which we are hoping to have the stakeholders present, so that probably they can have the first-hand information and know what is exactly on the ground, and then that way they'll be able to actually probably have first-hand information, and then they'll be able to make decisions that are going to be feasible or that are workable, unlike where they just make decisions without really getting to know what is on the ground. The first point that was raised in the small meeting that we had is that there's been an issue of load shedding, which is something that is affecting the entire country. We are all aware about it. So as business owners or small business owners, this load shedding has really affected us in that, like for me, I own a salon business, and my work actually involves probably starting work at 01 or at 02. And then at this point, if there's no power, it means I cannot operate, I cannot do my bride's makeup because I can't do it in darkness. So what then do I have? What is the next option that I have? The next option is to try and source for another source of power, of which again, you find that the other available sources of power are quite expensive for a small business owner to manage. So now that becomes very difficult for us to operate a business in that way, because we have really nowhere to run to in that regard, because obviously you find that, I remember trying to check for how much inverters are, and you find that if you have to get an inverter which can power probably your shop and maybe the equipment that you need, it's maybe not going to cost you not less than 50,000. And now for a small SME, where do you get that type of money? Where do you get that kind of money so that you keep on running your business? So that is one of the challenges that we are facing. Away from that, we also have, we've been experiencing a lot of high compliance requirements. This issue is that we have too many things that we are paying for as small business owners. Yes, we understand we need to also help in the growth of our economy, and there are things that we need to pay for, but we just feel like there are too many. Today you have council coming with probably 7 things that you need to pay for at council. Then tomorrow you have ZRA coming. The next day you have NAPSA working. The other day you have tourism working. The other day, so you find that even our smallest profits, they're being swallowed in all these things. And then at the end of the month, you still have workers to pay. You still have rentals to pay. You still have products to buy. So there's too many things that we are paying for, and it's really overshadowed. It's kind of making it difficult for us to operate as small business owners. And like she mentioned, we don't want to be unruly. We don't want to run away from it. We want to be in an environment that is going to be enabling for us to operate. So I don't know how you're going to help us in that regard. And then also, I believe some of these things, the compliance requirements, they are suitable for big companies, big businesses, but they are disadvantaging the small businesses. In that you find that maybe if we talk about for example, I run an event center, and then people from tourism just showed up and said you have to pay 8,000 because this is a tourist attraction. That is something that I was not aware of, and it was really a shock for me, because already I'm paying all these statutories. So how then am I supposed again to pay for this? So there are too many things that we are paying for as small business owners, and it's really making it difficult for us to make even smallest profits. And away from that, it's also difficult for us as small business owners to have access to flexible and flexible financial assistance. In that for us to have access to things like loans, it's difficult for us. It has not been made easy for us to have easy access to money that we can use to grow our small businesses. So some of us, we have the ideas, we have the zeal, we have the willingness to work and to grow our businesses, but we are limited when it comes to finances that we need to grow these small businesses. Hence, you find that, again, even when you run to banks, you find that the interest rates that the banks are going to give you, they're not going to be flexible to manage to pay back. And every time I'll set again as an example, probably I'll give, sorry if I'm giving myself as an example, but some of these are actually, this is to tell you that this is something that is actually happening and affecting us on the ground. It's not just me, but it's actually everyone else. Every time we are facing the issues of MPRs fluctuating, they've increased. So even some of us that have gotten small loans from bank, you find that you've already paid quite a huge sum of money and you expect that loan to end, but it still keeps on coming back and weighing you down because the MPR keeps on changing. So if we could have access where we have probably from the ministry, where we could get flexible loans that can help us build our business other than running to the bank where we have to pay huge sums of money, that would really help us as small business owners. And also, Honorable Minister, of late we have seen an influx of foreign investors coming in and doing businesses that we expect our local people to do. I'll cite an example as in, here's an investor who's coming in, they're selling things like maybe hair or maybe beauty product, but then because this person probably, I'm not trying to do this, but maybe, and where they're coming from, they have all these easy things, but you, at the rate at which you're bringing those things, it will be a bit higher than when they're bringing, I don't know how, because this is what is on the ground. So you find that the foreign investors, I think there's certain business that are not supposed to be allowed to do in our country. There are certain jobs, I think, that are supposed to be specified to be done by our local people. And also, these foreign investors, they've been doing this business in such a way that they reduce so much on the prices of most of these commodities that they want to bring, and then this is affecting or distorting the market price. You find, for example, Brian Chanda had to go all the way to China to source for a phone and bring it, and then he wants to buy it at, he wants to sell it at 800 kwacha, which is from his margin of profit, that would make sense because he had to put into consideration probably the traveling cost, maybe the lodging there, the hotels, also probably the amount of buying the product. But when he comes here, you find the Chinese who sell the same phone, maybe they want to sell it at 150 or 200 kwacha. How they got it and how they're trying to get those profits, we don't know. But that is distorting the market price, and then it's going to subsequently affect the business of Brian, because then he'll not be able to sell, because there are all these people that are trying to do the things that we are doing ourselves as local people. Away from that, we were also looking at the fact that we understand that there's a labor office now, and the labor office for us, we feel they've set aside standard minimum wages for the employees. Honorable Minister, you agree with me that as small SMEs, we are also offering employment. The government cannot employ everyone, but we cannot, the rates that our labor laws have been, the minimum wages that have been set, they're quite high. When you look at how much some of us make, you know, like last time I visited that office, and I think minimum wage for like a hairdresser is supposed to be somewhere maybe 2,700. Now, when you look at that amount, that is not what I'm making out of my salon. So how am I able then to pay? And then these are laws that have been enacted. These are laws that are enacted. And then if you don't follow them, and then everyone is more like aware out there. If you don't follow them, you are then breaching what has been set as a standard. So we want to request from your honorable officer that if there's a way in which you can help us, such that as SMEs, I think if we can have maybe a platform in which we can pay our workers based on what our income can allow, not where we have to follow, because you cannot, for example, you cannot compare Sarah to Trade Kings. Trade Kings can pay their those minimum wages because it's a big company. But if for me, as a small business salon owner, I'm not able, because my income already is not even equivalent to that amount. So on the issue of the minimum wages, it's also something that has really been weighing us down, comparing to what our incomes are and what our businesses are able to bring in. And away from that, also we've noted that most of the labor laws, they kind of favor employees and not employers. There are no laws that have really been set in place that are going to protect business owners even as they are dealing with these employees. There's also an issue of local currency. I think one of the things that we've been experiencing is the issue of dollar. So you find that most of our things that we sell, some of us, or that we use, even just the beauty products, they are not manufactured here in Zambia. The currency is kind of affecting us in that today you wake up, the dollar is like this, tomorrow you wake up, the dollar is like that. That I don't know how that can be helped or how we can help that, but it's something that has really been affecting us. We are having people, our people paying in dollars at premises, business premises, the different business premises that are charging in dollars for rentals. So you find that today maybe you are paying a 12,000 for your rentals, tomorrow you are paying a 15,000 because the dollar has gone high. So I don't know how feasible it is that probably we reinforce the issue of using kwacha as a strict currency in the local markets.